don't ever forget the power that you have. Don't ever let anybody tell you that you can't do something, or that you're never going to make it, or what you're doing is a waste of time, or you should just keep doing your, stick to your day job and like just be normal. Being normal never got anybody anywhere. I've been thinking about this a lot. Think about the people in your life who you admire, who have had a profound impact on you. I can guarantee you that a lot of them, if not all of them, are not quote unquote normal. And what I mean by that is they have done something extraordinary. Being normal, to me anyway, means doing what you're told and never questioning anything, and just doing things because that's what you've always been told that you had to do. Being normal is like never stopping to think for yourself for a minute and think, what do I want? Well, wait, is this the way I'm living my life? Is this what I want to be doing? The people that I admire and the people that have had a huge impact on my life are not normal. They have decided to pursue something, whether that is a career in music, a career in art. They have decided to, and it's not even always a career. It's not always about what they're doing to make money. They've decided to live their life on their terms and to do what makes them happy. There are people that I know who, they might not have a whole lot of money, and they might not have the nicest house, or, they're driving an old car and they don't buy new clothes often and all that stuff, but they're living their life on their terms. They are doing what feels authentic to them, what feels good for them, and they are making it work. I admire that so much, because so many of us are existing in this system that we didn't opt into, right? You're born, you go to school, you're told to go to college or to go right into the workforce, and you just do it, because what else are you going to do? It's like, well, that's all that I know. That's what everybody does. All of my role models, everybody in my life, everybody just has a regular job, and so that's what I'm going to do, because what else am I going to do? And I think what a lot of it is, I've really been thinking about this a lot. When I was in high school, I remember all the adults in my life telling me, just, really soak this up, because these are going to be the best 4 years of your life and you're going to wish you were back here. And I remember being so depressed and so anxious in high school. And the only thing that got me through high school is band. Truthfully, I had a couple really good friends, and I had a lot of casual friends, but I had a couple really close friends, and I had band, I had music, and that was what got me through. But I hated it. I hated school. I hated the whole system. I wasn't really learning anything in 90% of my classes. And I remember thinking, there's no way that these are the best 4 years of my life, because I'm not choosing to be here. I'm being told that I have to be here right now. I don't have a choice. And I'm surrounded by a bunch of people that I don't give a shit about. A lot of them are bullying me and being mean to me. I'm witnessing fights every other day, people just beating each other up. I'm sitting in classes where I'm not learning anything, and the teacher is just reading off of a sheet and is just, exhausted and underpaid, and it has lost their passion because they've been teaching for 30 years. And they're living in poverty. And I just remember thinking back then, even as a kid, as a teenager, like, there's no way these are the best 4 years of my life. And I was so ready to get out of high school, and I got out and I went to community college. And I remember immediately being like, well, this is better. This is better. Because while I'm in college and I'm working and I'm still being told what to do, I at least had a little bit of autonomy because I was able to choose, like, when I would take my classes. Like, yeah, I had to choose the classes that, like, I was forced to take for my degree. But I got to at least pick when they were, you know? And I remember thinking, like, well, this is already better. I mean, it's hard in a different way, but it's better. And then I did the college thing, and I went on and got a 4-year degree, and later got a graduate degree and all that. And I got into the workforce. I got my first full-time job that was like my first, big girl job or whatever. Like, I needed my college degree to get the job. I'm in an office. I've got, this is the dream, right? Like, this is what I've been working toward. Like, I have a job in my career field. And I get in it and I'm like, this is hell. This sucks. This is not what I signed up for. And I had a bit of a crisis because everything I'd been working toward, I was like, so this is it. I stayed at that job for a year. And as soon as I got another job, I got out of there. And I got another job. And I was at that job for 7 years. And I was very interested in the work I was doing. I felt rewarded. Like, the work itself was rewarding. My pay was very, very little. But I had benefits. I had health insurance and I had benefits, and I enjoyed my work. So everybody around me just said, well, I mean, you're better off than a lot of other people, so just keep doing what you're doing and maybe you'll get a raise or maybe you'll get a promotion. And I never did. After 7 years, I never did. And I saw so much corruption at the top of the company. And I saw so many people burning themselves out and just chasing this carrot dangling on a stick, trying to get the promotion, trying to move up. And unfortunately, I was one of those people. I hate to admit it, but I was. I fell for the propaganda of, we're all a family here. And if you work hard here, you will be rewarded. It's what I was told to my face by one of the people highest up in the company. And I watched nepotism happen. I watched corruption happen. And I realized that I'm not meant to be here. I don't fit their mold. I'm never going to move up here. I never was, because I express myself too much. I'm too loud. I'm too out of the box. I'm not normal. And leaving that job was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. Despite the corruption and all the heartbreak and everything that I went through in that job, I tied my sense of self-worth and a large part of my identity to that job. And that was me in my 20s, naive. And what I came to realize was that they preyed on my passion, my my 100% authentic passion that I had for the work that I was doing. They preyed on that. And they knew they could exploit me, and they knew that they could kind of string me along and get me to work unpaid overtime and get me to bust my ass doing all this stuff that's outside my job description because, well, she loves it here and she wants to move up, so we'll just ask her to do this and she'll do it. And I did. And then, you know, a couple things happened where I got screwed over in a pretty big way. And then I got in trouble for something that I recognized that I had made a mistake, but I thought they were blowing it way out of proportion, and I still think they blew it way out of proportion. And I realized that after 5 years at that point of busting my ass, going above and beyond, doing incredible work that way above my pay grade, I realized that it took this for me to finally wake up and realize they don't care about you. You are a number. You are your job title and you are your pay grade. You are not a person. You are not an individual. They didn't care about me. And it took that for me to realize that, unfortunately. But despite all that, I had some really amazing coworkers that I miss. And, you know, you say, well, it's like, oh, well, we'll still talk, you know. But we don't. And a big part of that is because I can't bring myself to reach out to them because I know that they're going to talk about that place and how things are going and stuff. And it's not good for me mentally to go back there. And I have almost like survivor's guilt in a weird way because they're still stuck there and I got out. And it was only once I left that I realized just how bad they had treated me over the years. And I really started to see everything. And my sadness turned into anger and resentment. And I've been in therapy for years unpacking everything that happened to me. And I wanted to say to you that workplace trauma is very real. And don't let anybody downplay that. And what I've realized over the last several years at this point is that I don't want a job. I don't want a job in the traditional sense. I don't want a job. I never did. I was just always told, well, this is what you have to do. And this is the only way you can make money. You have to have a job and you have to make money because that's the way our society works. I don't want a job. I want to work for myself. I want to make my own job. And because of this thing here, the internet, YouTube, technology, I at least have a shot at that. And I think about it all the time because had I been born earlier, it wouldn't be, this wouldn't be a thing. This wouldn't be an opportunity that I have. I have been selling my art to people all around the world, and people all around the world are seeing the content that I'm making because of this internet thing. Without this, like, I would have to just sell my art locally and try to like build community locally, which it can be done, don't get me wrong, but it's a lot more difficult. I'm very grateful for all the bad parts about the internet. There are a lot of really good things and a lot of opportunity that comes with it. And I know what my purpose is. It's taken me going through hell and working for people who don't give a shit about me and dealing with just a lot of bullshit and exploring different things and trying different things. I mean, you know, back when I was a teenager and then into my early 20s and when I got into college, like I wanted to write, I wanted to be a journalist and I wanted to write about video games. Like that was my primary thing that I wanted at that time. And I did it for fun. And I actually did it as a part-time job at one point for a local paper. I had a column about video games. I did that for like over 10 years until the paper, you know, they stopped doing it. But I really enjoyed it. And, but it took years of exploring my passions and reconnecting with things from my childhood. And you think, you know, I used to enjoy drawing, even though I never really went anywhere with it. Like I just drew SpongeBob characters, but I really liked that process. And I always liked painting, and I always liked pottery and art class in elementary school. And I always have been creative. I've always loved music, writing. I did go to college to, you know, I studied graphic design and writing in college. And I just kept doing, and photography. And photography has been a huge thing too. And I did that job that I had for 7 years. One of my primary things I did was photography. And I was pretty good at it. But that job burnt me out. I didn't touch a camera for years after that. And it's admittedly still hard to do. It's still hard for me to pick up a camera because it puts me back in that headspace of being in that job. But I've always been creative and always wanted to be creative, and I know I feel my best when I'm making stuff. And it's just taken a lot of time and life experience and experimentation to get to the point where I found my thing. And it's been over 4 years now, and I'm still loving the thing that I'm doing, and I'm having success with it. I'm selling stuff to people, to strangers on the internet who love me and the stuff I make. And I just feel this calling that is so strong, and I feel so like this is where I'm supposed to be. And I've been slowly building this thing over the course of over 4 years. I started this YouTube channel in the pandemic, and that's when I was doing Plan With Me videos, because that's what I was doing at the time. I was laying down stickers and planners and doing, you know, scrapbooks and all this stuff because that's what I loved. I had yet to reconnect with my passion of like, well, let me try drawing again. Let me try actually, you know, making some stickers myself, you know. I started this YouTube channel before any of that because I was like, I just need like a creative outlet. I've made videos, you know, I've always loved making videos. I've done that. But like, what do I do? So I'm like, well, I'm really into my planner right now and decorating and stuff. So that's what I'm going to do. And it's just evolved over time. And I've had to grow very slowly because I work a full-time job on top of everything. And I also am very likely neurodivergent, not diagnosed, but it's very, very likely and something I'm working on getting assessed for. But at the very least, I have PMDD, and I have been diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder since I was like 19, and major depressive disorder. And I'm on mental health medication. I struggle with my mental health. The PMDD can make the depression really, really bad some months. And I deal with ebbs and flows of my energy because of it. It's a struggle. And I have all these demands at work, and sometimes it's like, sometimes I feel like, well, I'm just going to have to give up Cassie Makes Art because I have to do my job and make money, and I don't have the spoons, as we say, like to do all of this. I can't do all of this. And I always, you know, my husband's a big part of it, of bringing me back to reality and say, you know, you can't give up on this. You love this. You can't give up on this, and you're having success with it, and you're enjoying it. You might need to take a break, but you're not going to give up on it. And he's right, because every time I take a break, every time, I'll be like 3 days into the break, and I'm like, okay, I'm itching to get back at it. I'm itching to make some more art. I'm itching to post something, to share something. And I'm making this so that, you know, I hope it resonates with somebody. I just want you to know that, like, you can do anything. And I'm not anywhere near where I want to be. I'm still working full time. You know, I want to branch off and really go full force into my business and really take this YouTube channel seriously. You know, I hit 500 subscribers. I know it's not a lot to a lot of people, but I never thought I'd get here. I have over 4,000 followers on Instagram. Again, not a lot to a lot of people, but that's a hell of a lot to me. And it's more than I've ever had on anything. And I not only do I have the followers, but I have an engaged audience. I'm still not used to it. Like, I go live on Instagram and, like, people show up. I used to go live and I'd just be sitting there, and then my mom would come in, and then maybe one of my friends, and it's like nobody there. And I'm still not used to it. I get on there and there's like 10 people just watching me. There's 20 people, 30 people. And I'm like, when did this happen? I have a Patreon. It keeps growing. People keep joining. I keep getting orders. And all I'm doing is just sharing my authentic self and making art that I want to make and sharing it with the world. That's all I'm doing. And I just want to say that because I want you to know that if you want to start a business, or you want to just post stuff on the internet, you want to share your art with somebody, you want to make a YouTube channel, whatever it is, like, just do it. Like, don't let anybody tell you that you can't do it, or that you shouldn't do it, or that it's a waste of time, or that, you know, what, like, don't listen to any of that. Even if nobody's actually saying it to you, if you're saying those things to yourself in your head, don't tell yourself that. We are on a floating rock, and we get one chance at this life. You need to do the things that you feel called to do, the things that you want to do. Because if you never do them, if you never try, you're always going to have that what if in the back of your head. And your goal might not be to make this into a career. You don't have to monetize every hobby that you have. Just me personally, I know that I want to make art and make products and share them with the world because it's what I enjoy, and I see that it brings joy to people. And I love that. And I'm not saying that I'll make products forever. Maybe it'll just turn into, you know, me doing designs like for companies or licensing or whatever. But I am going to make it work because I have to. Because it's the only thing that quiets my brain. It's the only thing that makes me feel like this is why I'm here. This makes me feel alive. It makes me feel fulfilled in a way that nothing else ever has. But if you just want to paint because you want to paint, if you have never picked up a paintbrush, if you want to pick up a pencil and draw something, if you already have an iPad maybe lying around, you want to look into like digital drawing, you want to use Procreate, you want to use Adobe Fresco, which is free now, which is an awesome program that I use. Just do it. Who cares? Don't worry about like, oh, I have to be good at this thing. And you don't have to be good at something for it to be worthy of your time and worthy of your attention. And sometimes it's just about the process. It's about, am I enjoying the process of this? There are many times I sit down with whatever medium it is, you know, acrylic paint, paint pens, watercolor, polymer clay, shrink plastic, sticker paper, like any kind of medium. I'll sit down and I'll work on something. Just a pencil. I'm trying to draw something. I'm trying to figure this out. And I'm trying it and it's not working. I get to the end and like, I don't like the result. I mean, the colors are wrong or whatever. I have to stop and say to myself, did I enjoy that process? And the answer is always yes. Always. Okay, I don't like the result, but I enjoyed creating it. And next time I'll just try again. Maybe I'll see, okay, what don't I like about this finished product and what do I want to change? And remember that you do not have to be the best to be successful. I have to tell myself that every single day because, especially on the internet, it is so easy for us to compare ourselves to everyone else and to look at other people and say, oh my God, they're so talented. I'm nowhere near that. How am I ever going to be successful? You know, people aren't going to like the stuff that I make. I implore you to get rid of those thoughts because they're not real and they're not true. You do not have to be the best to be successful. And here's the way that I think about it that really helped me frame this in my mind. Have you ever liked a band or an artist, a song, and maybe other people don't really seem to like it, or you know that they're not the best singer, maybe not the best songwriter, but you like it? It doesn't have to be the best to be impactful to you. Look how many artists are out there. Look how many bands are out there. How many singers are out there who, not everybody can't be the best. And you're never going to please everybody. There's always going to be a group of people that don't like what you're doing. And those aren't your people, and that's fine. But you might have an impact on one person that is so profound that it changes their entire outlook on life and everything that they're doing. And again, if you have to create from a place of authenticity and from just pure passion and drive to create in the first place. And this can be traditional art, or it can be whatever it is that you are really into and you're really passionate about. Art takes many forms. And making video games is an art form. I think video games I know video games are incredibly popular and, you know, a huge moneymaker and all this stuff, but I think they are still undervalued, especially just by the general population. They're undervalued and they are not seen and appreciated as the true art forms that they are. And whatever that thing is for you, I want you to just do it. Just because you want to do it. You don't have to make it into a career. You don't have to have a profit motive behind it. You don't have to be like, oh, well, this is going to be a waste of time because it doesn't make any money. It is not a waste of time if you enjoy it. Please just do the thing that you want to do. Make the YouTube channel. What is the worst that can happen? Oh, somebody sees it and they think that you're cringy. Who cares? And you know what it is when people do that and they're like, oh my God, so-and-so's making a YouTube channel. Look at her. Who does she think she is? That is coming from a place of they are so insecure and jealous because they could never. If you have never put your face and put yourself out there on the internet, you don't know how difficult it is to put your authentic self out there onto the internet for strangers to see and criticize and comment on. People will comment on my acting because I don't have any makeup on. All right, people comment on my weight. People comment on my art. If the angle is a little different, it's because my phone storage filled up and I had to delete something so I could continue recording. My phone said, you've been yapping too much, but I was pretty much done. I thought I was just saying that people leave negative comments and, you know, being perceived by people on the internet is like a really weird feeling. And I feel like our brains weren't meant to hear all of this feedback from all of these strangers. Like, without the internet, we would never have it. And it's very weird, but I have to tell you that, like, the reward that could come from it is so worth all of the negativity. And the negativity it's going to be there. It's going to be there. You're going to experience it. It's going to be hard. I personally try to remember that this is a nameless, faceless person on the internet who does not know me, and I don't know them, and I do not value their opinion. So why should I care about what they're saying about me? Now, if somebody that I know, says something to me sincerely because they care about me and they're saying, hey, you hurt my feelings, or hey, you did this thing and I don't think it's cool, that's going to sit with me. That's going to hurt me because I care about that person's opinion. I don't care about some random person on the internet who is criticizing me who doesn't even know who I am. So just try to remember that they don't matter. And again, they're doing that because they're projecting their insecurities. Because they've never done this. They will never do it. They have never created anything and put it out there. I'll never understand it. Like, there are tons of YouTubers and bands and artists and all kinds of stuff that I don't care for. I don't like their music. I don't like the art that they make. I don't like the YouTube videos that they make, whatever. I would never even entertain the idea of leaving a negative comment on something that somebody created and just be like, I don't like this. This is garbage. This sucks. Do you know, how many more important things I could be doing with my time? I could be making stuff. Okay? I ain't got time for that. And anybody who does is clearly not somebody worth listening to. So that's just what was on my mind today. So I hope this maybe helps somebody. Just please make things, create things, try things that you've been wanting to try, because we're on a floating rock and we only get to be here once, and nothing really matters and the system is collapsing. So please just do what you want to do. And if you are like me and you have to work a day job and you're pursuing your dreams and all that, just know, it's just a means to an end. It's all temporary, but I believe that you can do anything. And I think we have opportunities today that our ancestors could not even fathom. And I think that as long as you are creating from an authentic place and you are passionate and you view this as a long game and not something like, oh, I'm just trying to go viral and don't chase that. What you want to do is build a community slowly, over time, slowly and sustainably, and do it authentically, because that's how you're going to find your people. Just be yourself. I know it's so cliche, but just be yourself. That's the more I started putting my authentic self out there, the more my followers grew. And yes, the more criticism comes because you're putting your authentic self out there, and there's going to be people who don't vibe with you, and for some reason they feel the need to leave a comment. But the more that I am putting my true self out there and being cringy and being unhinged sometimes, the more I'm finding my people. And the more I just feel better about it. I used to put on this filtered version of myself, and you can see it and you can hear it in my early YouTube videos. And it wasn't a conscious thing of all right, I'm going to make sure that I, don't be too weird in this one. It wasn't conscious. It was just well, I'm just going to try to. It's like you put a camera on yourself and you just feel like you have to put on this mask. And I think the real power comes in taking the mask off and just being yourself and just sharing yourself authentically. And I think we need that now more than ever in the age of AI slop and all of this. You can't even look at a video. You're spending all this brain power being like, is this AI? I can't, I'm not sure. That might be AI. I don't know. We need you to share, we being the world, we need you to share your authentic human self and your human-made things. And don't worry about it being perfect. Nothing is perfect. The more that it looks like a human did it, the better. And I truly believe that. And I think that that's going to be the case even more so moving forward. So I hope this helps somebody. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe. I'm really trying to film and post more videos on here and just share more of myself with you. I'm definitely most active on Instagram, so if you want to follow me over there, but I am really trying to carve out time, which is very difficult lately, to film these videos and post them for you guys, and just to share my experience and take you along the ride on this journey. So thanks for being here, and remember to take your medication. That's what I'm going to do right now. Remember to drink water, and remember that you are enough. And that you do not need to change for anybody. Thank you to my lovely patrons over on Patreon. I have them listed here at the end in the credits. They are the reason that I can keep doing this, and they're amazing. So if you would like to join, you can join for just $1, or have other tiers if you are so inclined, or if you just want to subscribe here for free, that means the world too. So thank you. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Bye.